If a person has extra body fat, it's not just an inert substance that's sitting around your waistline. It's an active chemical factory. Body fat takes hormones that come through it and converts them. For example, male hormones are converted to female hormones, and hormones are converted from one to another. Where you'll see this, perhaps most obviously, is you go to a beach and you see the men who are a little bit heavy set and they've got breast development. And you think, is that just body fat? No, it's not. What it is, it's breast development, because their estrogens, their body fat is making female sex hormones. Now, for a guy, that might be more a cosmetic issue or whatever. And it's over the long run, being overweight is going to increase the risk of certain problems. For a woman, having too much estrogen, more than Mother Nature had in mind for her, can be linked to hormone-related cancers, particularly breast cancer. And we've known for a long time that the more overweight a woman might be, the higher her risk of breast cancer. And now that's quite apart from the higher risk of diabetes she may have, or the higher risk of certain other cancers that she might have, or the higher risk of hypertension. So the answer is to help people to figure out how to lose weight. And I can understand why people have gotten discouraged, because they went on a calorie counting diet that said, you just got to cut down your calories by 25 or 30%. And we don't do well with that. By Wednesday, you're ready to eat the sofa. People just can't do it. The people who could do that never got heavy in the first place. What the research studies that we have been doing now for more than 20 years have looked at a completely different approach, which is not a quantitative shift, cut calories. That's not it. It's a qualitative shift. So let's say a person grew up like me. I grew up in North Dakota, meat, cheese, a little bit of vegetables out of a can on the side. That was kind of the way we grew up in Fargo. Well, if a person is eating that way, and it's rather than talking about how much a person is eating, we shift them toward grains and beans and vegetables and fruit. So that might translate into, let's say, a bean burrito instead of the meat taco, or bean chili instead of the meat chili, or spaghetti with a arrabbiata sauce or marinara sauce or something instead of the meat sauce. Simple changes. What you see is the person gradually loses weight. And in 2005, we did a study with 64 women. Everybody was overweight. Everyone was after the age of menopause. They had all done Atkins, South Beach, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, you name it. They all felt stuck. And we asked them to not focus on the amount of food, but to do two things. Avoid animal products, keep oils really low. And as time went on, they lost weight very easily. They weren't exercising. It was the only change was the diet contents. And the average person was losing about a pound per week. And then the next question is, all right, when the study's over, what happens? It was a 14-week study. So we tracked them for an additional year, and they were skinnier at a year than they were at the beginning. And then we followed them for a year beyond that. So at 2 years, they were still skinnier than they were at the beginning. So the point being, if you're making a shift in the type of food you eat and not worrying so much about the quantity, your body will suddenly resonate with that and make the weight loss much, much easier.
Wow. You mentioned keeping oils to a minimum. Some of the experts on this summit, would say eliminate them entirely. There seems to be a misconception with people that we actually need oil, that somehow it's healthy and that we have to have it. But for weight loss, it's not favorable.
What I'm speaking of is added oils. Your body does need certain traces of alpha linolenic acid and linoleic acid. These are oil traces that are in vegetables and in beans and so forth, and you'll get them. What I'm speaking of is you're making pasta and you're taking that bottle of olive oil and you're going glug, 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 glug all over the pasta or all over your pan because you're frying stuff and the oil soaks into things. Keep in mind, people are used to thinking of sugar as a refined food, but oil is a refined food too. Now, here's what I mean. As I mentioned earlier, you take sugar from sugar cane. And what do? You discard all of the pulp and all of the fiber and you extract the sugar. Where does oil come from? Olive oil comes from olives. I take 10,000 olives. I throw away all of the fiber and all of I throw away the whole